Hello everybody, welcome to episode 3 of Prospero's Books Lost Bookshelf. Today we're going to talk a little JRR Tolkien. Tolkien just so happens to share my birthday, January 3rd, though his was 1892 I believe, and I was a good 60, almost 70 years later. But as a young man I was totally infatuated with Tolkien. Across my life, I've read his books in the primary series of 4, almost every year from about 15 years old and on. Tolkien's mythology entered the rock and roll world through like Zeppelin, other rock and roll bands, but Robert Plant was infatuated, Gollum and the Evil One, and Battle of Evermore, and incorporated a lot of Tolkien's mythology into their music. I'm going to start today with a trio of the original famous pirated Ace book first editions. Here's 1965. We got the A4, 5, and 6 on the side, and they are in just amazing condition. The cover art is crazy. Due to a little misunderstanding with Houghton Mifflin and the amounts of books that they could bring over, Ace figured that these had moved into the public domain and issued their own editions, maybe the first paperback editions, at least the first American paperback editions out there. Tolkien fought this release, series of letter campaigns and comments and stuff. The War About the Rings is kind of a famous episode in publishing lore here in the United States and abroad. It's a great story, one of my favorite stories. I have a lot of stuff. We've just come into a brilliant collection featuring literally hundreds of books, first editions, rarities, odd asides, ephemera, products, all kinds of fun stuff. I'm going to talk about a little bit of it real quickly today, but let's start with, not everybody has a son that becomes an Oxford professor, and Christopher has done a brilliant job post his father's passing of bringing out in just absolutely quality editions a lot of the extra materials behind the scenes, including the Silmarillion, which was in many of the situations was the kind of the backdrop for all of this. Now, Tolkien was an Oxford professor. He was also a World War I veteran, but he was an Oxford professor. He was a philologist, which means the study of language, its role, its evolution. Etymology plays into it, and he had created a lot of these languages as kind of an academic experience, or work elven, what he would later go on to call those things. They, of course, were the impetus for him telling stories around those languages and how they came to be to his children. But since his passing, Christopher, like I said, is released. I have just great editions of The Children of Hurin, which was one hell of a good story. The Legend of Sigurd and Gudrun, and I have to be honest, I haven't read this one, but it's on my list. I may read it before you guys get a crack at it. We're probably looking with Tolkien at the next great author that gets accepted into the recognized Western canon of literature. I mean, a lot of the academics pushed against it for a long time, but just the breadth of the knowledge of the stories themselves are quite almost, we're looking at the beginning of this, Shakespearean, Chaucerian kind of breadth and legs. It's going to keep going. I mean, will we be reading Hemingway 100 years from now? Old Man in the Sea, Clean Well-Lighted Place, maybe, but Tolkien looks like he has got enough legs, and with the academic work his son Christopher has done, he probably has enough attention being brought to this across the entire globe to really inject him into the great canon, the canon of the greats. Like I said, I have all kinds of fun stuff here I'm going to talk about. A couple of things we have is, The Adventures of Tom Bombadil, great cover. Tree and Leaf, Farmer Giles of Ham. These are in just amazing conditions, not even unjust. They're just perfect hardback in Mylar. Great editions, early editions, first through fifth editions of those. A little expensive. We have all kinds of other cool stuff. Like I'm going to bring, let's see what we got here. Yeah, this is the Journal and Atlas of Frodo Journeys. I mean, these maps are amazing. They're gorgeous, thought out, a little bit of narrative to back it up, just for the person who is really wanting to get down and drill down into the entire mythos and the journey of Frodo. Wonderful edition. I have all kinds of cool stuff. Let's bring out a few more of these things. Like I said, several hundred items of odd ephemera, things on the side. I have a copy of the Lord of the Rings tarot deck and card game. There it is, in great shape. We have, now these were really fun. They were a series of cards that were issued of Tolkien's artwork themselves. These are pretty rare, actually. You recognize these if you're a reader of Tolkien. Cover of Silmarillion, that was Smaug, Lake Town. Anyway, these are cards. There were two editions. There was Series 1 and Series 2. I happen to have both series. And we have some fun things like blank journals of Sam Gamgee, blank journal of a Hobbit's journey. You get to fill them in if you want, but again, great little illustrations, blank. You get to move them in. Have fun things like desk calendars from 1978, and these are, again, lovely illustrated, Tolkien's own stuff, blank, haven't been written in. They're just a nice little bit of curio for the true Hobbit fan. Comes a couple of other great ones. We have lots of journals, and I don't know if you realize this, that almost every porn mag had done a knockoff of something from Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. We have most of those. We, Penthouse, they're kind of funny, but they'd all kind of a naughty telling of the stories. But then we have several side journals quickly sprung up on Tolkien. We have the Orcus. This is the Tolkien journal. This is from, I'm trying to remember, it's 1970 is when this one came out. And this one's even signed by one of the illustrators in the journal. We have, the Tolkien Journal and Myth Lore, again from 70. Rarities, really something fun for individuals who are, there we go, we got it in the camera there, who are just Tolkien fans. One of the other things that is just great, I think I have a pile of Middle-earth role-playing directories. We have sheets and maps, and the D&Ders, many people like me who spent, ages of 16 to 25 smoking a lot of weed in the basement, drinking beer and up all night playing campaigns for Dungeons and Dragons. These here are quite rare, actually, and I have them like factory sealed. This is just a brilliant, it's the Wizard's Companion. I have, the campaign for the Umbar Haven of the Corsairs. We have game secrets, just a book on Tolkien's Middle-earth role-playing. I have a lot of this stuff, materials like that, and I can't touch on all of it today because these are short. But one of the funnest things we have is from the movies. We have a series of 4, and there's 4 in the set, of goblets that were made. One, they've got Gandalf. These are they're glass. They're blown with Lord of the Rings on one side and a picture of Gandalf on another, and something a wizard would drink out of. But we have Frodo, I have Arwen, we have Aragorn. Anyway, that's what I have today, and like I said, we have a ton of material that isn't shown here. I just don't have time to show it. It's several hundred. If you're a true collector, reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you about it. This is Prospero's Bookstore. If you want to get a hold of us, contact Will at info@Prospero's Bookstore. Thank you very much. Keep reading. We'll see you next time.